On today's Core of the Bible Daily Insight, we're looking at how Yahweh has always been and always will be the rightful king of his people. In 1 Samuel chapter 8, it says, Yahweh said to Samuel, "Listen to the voice of the people in all that they tell you, for they have not rejected you, but they have rejected me as king over them." So the political kingship of Israel began with a rejection of Yahweh as their king. The narrative continues in 1 Samuel 8, and it says, "Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together and came to Samuel at Ramah, and they said to him, 'Behold, you are old, and your sons don't walk in your ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations.' But the thing displeased Samuel when they said, 'Give us a king to judge us.' So Samuel prayed to Yahweh, and Yahweh said to Samuel, 'Listen to the voice of the people in all that they tell you, for they have not rejected you, but they have rejected me as the king over them.'" So even when presented with all of the tyrannical things a national king would do, the taxes, the conscription, the giving over of the land, the children and slaves to the service of the king, the people would not relent. Yahweh had told Samuel that their desire for a political king and their forsaking of Samuel as a judge over them was akin to their idolatry. In 1 Samuel 8, verse 8, he says, "According to all the works which they have done since the day that I brought them up out of Egypt, even to this day, in that they have forsaken me and served other gods, so also they do to you." So throughout their tumultuous political kingdom, Yahweh still had plans to use Israel's national kingdom as an object lesson for all time. And although Saul had originally been God's choice for ruler, Saul became corrupt and demonstrated that he was not obedient wholeheartedly to the Torah or the instruction of God. So instead, God raised up David as a man after his own heart to firmly establish the kingdom. And while David was originally rejected by the people of Israel, through him and his son Solomon, the pinnacle of the earthly political kingdom of God was reached. The corrupted initial kingdom was replaced with a king who was yielded to Yahweh and who ruled wisely as God's faithful representative with the wisdom of God. And just like the kingdom of David and Solomon, God always had plans to consummate his rulership over his people with a representative who would honor and represent him wholeheartedly. The coming of a Messiah, a son of David, an anointed one, that is a king, was foretold through the prophets and longed for by the Israelites who suffered under each rebellious king and through exile in foreign lands. Yeshua arrived into a world of immense national and political corruption, just like the conditions of the kingdom of Saul. However, just like the house of David, Yeshua demonstrated through his faithfulness that he was truly anointed of God and the rightful king of God's people. True to form and the cyclical pattern of Torah, Israel rejected God's anointed king, for that's what the word Christ or Messiah means. But God's plan to go full circle back to his own rulership over his people was not yet complete. Through the demonstration of his power and through the resurrection of Yeshua, Yahweh maintained a rightful ruler of his people, one who would oversee the affairs of his kingdom as if he himself were king. Through his Messiah, his anointed king, the rightful rulership and all honor would ultimately return to Yahweh himself. In 1 Corinthians 15, the Apostle Paul writes, "Then the end comes when he, the Messiah, will deliver up the kingdom to God the Father, and when he will have abolished all rule and all authority and power. And when all things have been subjected to him, then the Son will also himself be subjected to him who subjected all things to him, that God may be all in all." So we see that through the faithfulness of his Messiah, Yahweh remains as rightful king over his people for all time and is worthy of all honor and praise. Well, I hope today's insight was helpful for you. As always, please visit coreofthebible.org for hundreds of other Bible articles like this, along with other podcast episodes and videos. Thanks so much for listening today. Take care.